Okay. So, I know it's been a while since I hopped on here and did a download. Soul truth, a realization, transmission, whatever the F you want to call it. But today I did a reading of myself, connected to Source, asked Source what download wants to come through me today. And I figured it out. I found the message, I found the topic, I found the download that wants to come through. So I really wanted to share something really, really important. And there's a reason why I have this little cute llama with me. It's the idea that feeling like you need to be like fully healed in order to show up, or in order to be the version of yourself you want to be, in order to embody it, in order to align with it closer, in order to just go fulfill the legacy that you want to go fulfill, show up how you want to show up, or even to be loved, accepted, valued. I feel like everyone thinks that they need to be quote unquote perfect in order to provide the essence of themselves that they wish to provide to the world, when in reality the true medicine lies in your truth and you honoring and embodying your truth, and you integrating your real-time life experiences into the process of how you want to show up, because that's where the real medicine lies, because you're in your truth, literally. Do you know how many people in this world suck at that? Do you know how many people hold themselves back out of fear of being rejected by the masses? And so they do everything in their power to smother their truth, smother their authenticity, when that's the actual thing that we need more of in this world, in society, and humanity, for the collective. You know, there are so many moments through my own self-growth healing journey and process of growing my business, showing up on here, doing all the things. And one of those phases and cycles that I think we all go through, but I think we're so hard on ourselves about, is the moments where we feel the most disconnected from source, where we feel the most disconnected from our intuition, from that feeling of quote unquote trust that we must get, that feeling of trying to surrender to the process. We think that we're not good enough spiritually. We think that we're not doing it right, when there in reality there's really no right or wrong way to do anything correctly, or to even have the human experience. These are all just labels that we put onto ourselves and labels that we put onto experiences. It's black and white thinking right in our faces, and we're not being honest with ourselves about it. And a good example of this is in the spiritual community and the work that I show up to do, like facilitator for deep healing. There's people in that community that think positivity is the only way. You know, there's people in that community that try to help you find ways to regulate your nervous system when a trauma comes up, for example, but they don't try to give you permission to just release it all in that moment, when we shouldn't have to feel like we need to be put together 24/7 in order to hold space, in order to show up. Because, well, for at least the work that I do, I know that I don't need to be fully healed to show up. Why? Because I'm being a teacher and a student at the same time for everyone that I show up for, hold space for, facilitate healing for. And that shows to them the power in that duality, the power in honoring both energies. Because if we were to choose one or the other, we would be, one, sacrificing our truth, betraying ourselves, because where we're at in the process is something that should be honored and respected. And also, there is so much wisdom beneath all of that, or inside of all of that, that we're not letting the other person see if we don't honor those dualities. Especially, and that you can literally apply this into like being afraid of like showing up in relationships, for example, or friendships, or love, like your love life or career or yourself, or everything that you could possibly think of in general. Like, you can literally apply this, because we keep thinking that we need to be perfect, we need to be quote unquote ready for it, when in reality you just need to have the courage to honor where you're at, but keep doing it anyways. Because most people don't do that. Most people hold themselves back from doing it because they're afraid of what everyone's gonna think. But at the end of the day, not everyone's gonna like you, not everyone's gonna accept you. There's always gonna be someone in the crowd of people that you're trying to impress that are gonna just say no. And we need to be okay with that, because our energy is not for everybody. Our aura is not for everybody. Our frequency is not for everybody. And if it triggers somebody, if it keeps someone feeling uncomfortable, we're actually helping them in their own personal growth journey, whether we realize it or not. Even if it's just for a moment of them like judging it, we're adding into their experience of learning that lesson. Does that make sense? I really hope that makes sense. Like, the more that we hold ourselves back from being our honest, authentic selves, especially when we're trying to show up, we're holding lessons away from people because we're so afraid of hurting them. We're so afraid of dimming our light when our light is meant to hurt their eyes, metaphorically speaking, because it's trying to show them something that maybe they wouldn't be able to gain if someone else kept their light dim. And the reason why I felt called to grab my little llama is because I was actually gifted this llama by my partner because he's Peruvian, and he found this in like an indigenous store, and he was like, oh my God, like I have to get this for you. So when I was gifted this, is it a llama or an alpaca? I feel terrible now. Let me know in the comments, please. When I was gifted this, I looked up the meaning, the symbolism, the medicine of this animal online. And it was talking about perseverance, and it was talking about courage, and it was talking about how like they don't back down when things get tough, when things are hard. Like they keep climbing, they keep striving, but they have this softness to them, like literally and you like visually when you look at a llama, right, or an alpaca. And they're so cute, but they're so large. And I was thinking about that, the idea of the term soft power, and how those two dichotomies in one statement and one term can get people a little bit confused, especially in an era where everyone thinks they need to be in hard, quote unquote, power. What I mean by that is feel like they need to have a hard shell around themselves to be in their power, when in reality, the vulnerability is where your biggest strengths lie. Not being afraid of how people are going to digest you, not being afraid of how people are going to judge you or reject you or this and that. That's where your true power lies, right? And to be human is to be okay with not being perfect when you meet souls that are in need of that energy that you can provide them. But the only way you can provide them that is if you're in your truth and you show up in your unhealed self, while still trying to embody your most healed self at the same time. It's the dualities that matter, because you're showing them that you're human. Because a person that is showing up in the healing community especially, right, because that's just what I do, so I'm using that as an example continuously. If they are showing up acting like they have gone through it all and they're still not going through it all, then they are completely lying to your face. Because the real teacher, the real wise woman or human or man, whoever they might be or identify as, the real wise one will show up and say, yes, I'm crumbling, but I'm still standing and I'm still here to show you how to do the same. To be an example, to have a ripple effect, but also to show people that I'm not here to fix you. I'm here to facilitate space for you to realize how you have always been your own and best healer. Inner healer for yourself. You have always been your own best friend, your own best supporter, and I'm here to just be the mirror to help you remember that, to be the witness of your growth, of your unraveling, so you have a safe space and you get to figure it out. That's where the real power lies. And that's where integrity lies, that's where being humble lies. Those are all the most important things, I think, in the human experience, especially in the healing community. And I feel that I notice there's so much competition in the work that I do with the people that I meet. You can sense it off of them that everyone's trying to look like they are the most healed. But we're not supposed to be. Like, that's the whole point of this mission that I feel like I'm on, or any other person that calls themselves a healer or practitioner, does something for healing purposes. They have to act like they are the best, the most healed, but that's just so far from the truth. And it's unfair to humanity if we keep saying that to them, making them think that we have to be the best, because that just keeps feeding into the societal standards that we're all trying to erase out of our minds, of this feeling of being a perfectionist and being the best, when in reality we're all equal. I am not better than a client that I work with, if that makes sense. I'm not better than a person that's still at a point in their journey where they haven't had that moment of self-awareness or spiritual awakening. The only difference between me and them is that I'm going at my own pace, and my own pace is completely different than their pace, and when life is meant to unravel or unfold for them. And it doesn't make me better than any. Like, they are not better than me, I'm not better than them. And our only mission in life is to be the mirror, to show people the potential, the opportunities, right? The capabilities. But that's really it. So I'm here recording this, right? And I feel like I'm at a point, at least like at this moment, I feel like I am literally the most disconnected I've ever been from my creative power, because of how much newness I've been entering, or I've been allowing and surrendering into within my life, trying to continue my business and get it out there locally, virtually, worldwide in general. And continuing to show up is already hard. I'm in the process of learning how to work through my own inner seasons, and there's so many things that I'm learning for myself to integrate and embody into my own experience. So it would be wrong of me to come up here and pretend like I'm super fine and dandy when in reality we're all gonna have those moments where we feel so disconnected, where we don't know what's happening, where we don't know where life is gonna take us. But that's the gift. It's embracing it's transmuting the anxiety that you think is there into excitement that's also there too. And trying to choose your own experience, trying to remember that you are the one that gets to create the perception. Is it anxiety or is it excitement? What are you gonna let yourself embrace and embody more of? And continue to breathe through to keep your nervous system regular. Like, I could keep going about this, but I think you guys got the picture. So with that being said, feel free to go in the comments down below if you want to have a conversation about this, if you have any disagreements. I love healthy debates. I love sharing, I love hearing people's perspectives and opinions on these things. And feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, if you want to join the community that is all about self-growth, all about self-empowerment, and becoming the most healed versions of ourselves each and every day, trying to find ways to step into that each and every, a little bit more every day, 1% better. So with that, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you guys soon.